This is the first of some, perhaps even many, introductions, possibly with a review element, but my main purpose is to introduce oracle and tarot decks that I find interesting and think that other people might like to know about. I've been thinking about doing it for ages, but this one here, the Seed and Sickle Oracle deck by Fez Inkwright, is the one that sparked me to actually go ahead and do one. I came across this the other day in a shop. I wasn't particularly looking for yet another oracle deck. I really do love them. But there it was, and I thought that is one I haven't seen before. It's beautiful, and let's see what that's all about. So here we go. First of all, the box. Whatever you think of it, I think it's beautiful. It's really well constructed, which I like. I like to be able to carry my cards around and not have to worry about the box falling apart. This box will not fall apart. And now look at this bit. This bottom part here is has a magnetic catch. You pull out another box. Again, really beautiful, really well constructed, inside of which you have your deck of cards. I'll probably remove that cardboard in the end, I'm not sure, but it stops things wobbling around too much, and 2 booklets. And this really is quite interesting, the way she's done this. I haven't come across this way of organising the interpretations to tarot or oracle cards. Let's look at the cards first. It's quite nice stock. It's a little bit sticky to begin with, but then loads of decks are. It's certainly absolutely fine, not too thin, and somewhat pliable. The size you can kind of get a sense of by, I've got big hands, but they're not ginormous. A nice size, easy to hold, relatively easy to shuffle. This is the back of each card, and I will add some photos to the end of this, but just while I'm doing this is in no particular order. I'm going to show you some of the cards. Just while I'm doing that, I'm going to say that Fez Inkwright is, I've done a little bit of research on her, knowledgeable, very knowledgeable about plants, their properties, their meanings, their uses. She's written books on them. I'm not, but that doesn't stop me getting a lot out of this deck. In fact, sometimes I'm attracted to decks that have a sort of specialist focus that I don't know too much about, because as I use them, I learn a bit. But I haven't found, having played with them a bit, that it's hindered my enjoyment of them or the guidance that comes with them. Right, so there's a few of them. You will see more. And now I'm going to show you the 2 booklets that come with the deck. There's this one, the Dawn guidebook, and this one, the Dusk guidebook. And what's interesting about what she's done here is that each card is represented in both of the books, but they have a different focus. So you choose which book you're going to use for your guidance. And I really like this, not only because it's interesting, something I haven't come across before, which is always intriguing, but also it gets you to focus on the purpose of your reading before you even start to think about the interpretation. And you might get a sense before I say anything about the difference between dawn and dusk, but let me read what she has to say. I've got the dawn one here first. So this is what she says. Individual cards can be read in 2 ways, the dawn and the dusk, the rising and the resting, providing advice for every reader whether you are working towards a specific goal or focusing on your mental well-being. So that's the difference in a nutshell, but there's a little bit more. So are you starting a new project, building new relationships, or revitalizing yourself? If you're undertaking a period of expansion and growth that will benefit you further down the line, let your day brighten with the rising sun and read the dawn meanings for advice on how best to get there. Okay, so that's dawn, expansion, new projects, inspiration, and so on. And then we have the dusk. Life isn't always about hard work. Sometimes you need to rest and reflect on yourself. Whether you're looking for guidance on how best to take care of your body and mind, making quiet inner guidance or better flow with nature, take the route of the gentle moon and look to the dusk meanings of these cards for a mindful reading. Okay, so this, I like this. I like the idea. I think it's, I say fun, not particularly flippantly. I think there's a lot of fun in very serious stuff. And in that sense, it's fun. But also, as I said before, there's a sense then of focusing on what it is that you want some guidance with while you're actually picking your cards, which is always helpful and can be useful to have a little help with that. So let's, as a part of introducing these cards to you, let's ask a question. It's the beginning of September. As I do this now, it's the 4th of September, but as I'm not entirely sure when I'm going to get around to editing this and upload it, let's just say that this the beginning of September. We're looking at the end of the summer and the beginning of autumn. So let's pick a card for any of us who are looking to expand for inspiration. I'm aiming to read from the Dawn guidebook, okay? And then we'll pick another card for to be interpreted from the Dusk guidebook. And I guess all of us will have aspects that pertain to dawn and others that pertain to dusk. So here we go. This card that I'm going to pick is for this time of year, entering into the autumn season, for anyone who ends up listening to this video. Okay, so the card we've got here is Birch. So that is Birch. Is that number 1? It is. Number 1. I don't really work with numerology, but that's got to be significant, right? One of you, I'm sure, will know a lot more about that than I do. Okay, this is what the Dawn booklet has to say about birch. In Irish communities, the traditional winter Yule log is cut from the birch tree. A broom of birch twigs is used to brush out the dust of the old year and bring in the new, and household fires are doused and then relit from the central Yule fire to bring the community together. You are facing a new beginning, but do not embark upon this future alone. You will have a stronger start if you rely on friends, family, or colleagues to support you through your first steps. Do not fear removing what is past its use. That feels relatively. I downplay what I'm saying sometimes. That feels to me really significant on a community level, actually. So even though this might be relevant to those of you who are listening on an individual level, let's see how this plays out. But that, yeah, I'll be interested to see what unfolds. Okay, now we're going to pick another card to be interpreted from the Dusk guidebook. So this is more about going within and self-care, contemplation. So for those listening to or watching this, what card are we to look at? Okay, we've got Clematis. There we go. 22. I wish I knew more about numerology. That's a master number. I might look it up afterwards and see what significance these numbers have. Okay, so we're in the Dusk guidebook. Clematis, you've been holding on so tightly to your control of the world that your fingers are starting to ache. But here's a thought. How about you try letting go? Not everything needs to be controlled, and you may find that you've put enough safeguards in place to be able to support yourself even without clinging on so. You'll naturally want to resist the feeling of falling, but you may find that a fall isn't actually coming and that it feels good to let go. Wow. How many of us are worried about the coming winter? How many of us are hanging on to the control that we have over our, I guess it boils down to finances. How are we going to pay for fuel? How are we going to pay for all the things that we need to pay for? I mean, beyond that it goes, how are we going to manage? Well, there's something rather reassuring for me about the idea of just letting go and trusting that whatever comes up, not necessarily that somebody's going to wave a magic wand and everything's going to be okay, but that we will manage it. We will be fine because we have the resources within us and around us in terms of community to help ourselves, help each other, and get through whatever this autumn and this winter has in store for us. So on that note, a beautiful set of cards. Like I said, I'm going to add some photos, and I hope you enjoyed getting to know them a little bit. Okay, bye for now.